You've seen motivational videos online before, ones like this or this. The problem with them is they don't actually work. You find yourself watching these videos and you get very excited, and then you watch the next video after the next video, and then you realize you never actually end up doing the thing you've been meaning to do. You might come back to YouTube later and watch a video or two about how to do the thing you're talking about, and you may get trapped down the YouTube rabbit hole from there, watching video after video, which might be motivational, or 10 ways to become rich, or 5 ways to do as many push-ups as you can, but you never end up doing the thing. Social media has become flooded with these videos about how to become more motivated. All of us have seen them, and I think all of us have realized that they're not as effective as they promise to be. Let's talk about why these videos don't actually help us get more things done. The number one problem with these videos is that they sell us a false idea of what it feels like to be productive. When you watch these videos, they're full of exciting music and clips of Kobe making insane baskets in his post-conference interviews about how the job's not done, and they really get us amped up, and it gets me amped up too. The problem is, doing hard things doesn't actually feel like that. There's no epic soundtrack playing, there's no press conference waiting for you, there's no epic camera shot waiting when you're sitting at your computer doing the work that needs to be done. The reality is, a majority of it just is uncomfortable, and that's okay. Part of Stoic philosophy talks about how the hardest hit is the one that you didn't see coming. So if you're expecting your hard things to be filled with soundtracks and epic movies, and it actually ends up just looking like you sitting in your room on a computer for hours, that's much worse than if you recognize that in order to do the things that you said that you want to do, it's going to require long periods of time of hard work under extreme pressure with delayed gratification. I think the analogy carries over quite well into something like a squat. Now, when you get up to the squat bar, you don't just unrack the weight and go. You spend some time making sure your body is in the appropriate posture to begin accepting the pressure. And maybe you spend about 10 or 15 seconds getting your body into that right form, and then you unrack the weight. And then maybe if you're going very slow, maybe you take 2 minutes to complete the set. And during that 2 minutes, you're shouldering the pressure of that. After your 2 minutes, maybe you take another 2 minutes of rest before you get up and you begin aligning your posture. So this is not to say that there's no role for aligning yourself at the beginning of the day or before you do a hard task, but it's to set the appropriate proportion. With the lift, we're maybe spending about 5% of our total time getting in the headspace, aligning our headspace to accept the pressure. What this philosophy might look like in application in our own lives would be, instead of continually watching these videos on YouTube as the idea comes up, instead, we take a period of time set aside in the morning to align ourselves for the hard things that we know we're going to do in our day. And during that time, which you've set aside to do the work, it's spent doing the work. And it's not spent watching the videos about how to do the work or watching the motivational videos to get the motivation to do the work, but it's doing the work. And then once the work is done, you can have your evening time and your rest, your sleep, where you're recovering to accept the pressure the next day. You might be asking, well, I need the motivational videos because when I sit down to do the work that I think is most important, I just don't feel like there's any traction. And that's understandable, and I think a lot of people are in that position. But I think what it takes is it doesn't take an extra motivational video, but I think to fix that might take some time set aside in the morning where you're asking yourself the hard questions. Am I really doing the thing that I think is right for me and is necessary in the world? Am I really aligned in what my talents are, what my interests are, and what the world needs? And I think some combination of that reflection and alignment with the discipline that you can practice during that work period could fill the hole that I think people are trying to fill when they watch the motivational videos.